Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. My name is Satyarth Dwivedi. I'm an ACCA member. I've been teaching from the past 8 years. I've got all India ranks, all world ranks from my students. My students have scored all India ranks, all world ranks. And I expect the same level of understanding from you all as well. Right? In the last class, we discussed about the examination pattern, the syllabus. How many of you want that to be repeated today? How many want that to be repeated? Maybe due to lag of, maybe due to lag in audio or video, you were not able to see that. How many of you want that to be repeated? Tell me. Or we can move straight away to explaining the concepts. Yes, guys. Yes, people. How many want that to the syllabus and everything to be repeated? Tangle the tangled wires. This is the most important job. So I think I lost you guys at cost of production, but what I'll do is I'll start from the beginning so that nobody feels that we could not understand or we did not get anything, because there are people who did not get anything, right? So I'll start from the beginning, right? Yes, and I've discussed the syllabus. I think syllabus and everything is clear to everyone. Just say a yes. I'll start from the beginning only. Okay, syllabus and all is clear. So what I'll do, or maybe some other time, we'll discuss the syllabus. Just one thing that I want to ask, are you guys students? I told you, are you students or not? Okay, Priyadarshini says she's a student. Who else? Who else thinks they're a student? Okay, let me show you something. And then I'll ask you if you remember this. Do you remember this? How many people are you up against? Student come working. No. You are up against 500,000 like you. Welcome to ACCA. Welcome to performance management. You are not students anymore. You guys are not students anymore. There is a paradigm shift in what you do as student and what you do. Yes, you all of you are at war. You're fighting against 500,000 others who will at no cost leave their own for you. They will not leave their own papers for you. So you're up against a huge battle. And what does a warrior do? Yes, guys. What does a warrior do? A warrior eats war, sleeps war, breathes war. Eats war, sleeps war, breathes war, and thinks war. That's the job of a warrior. Do you all? So war in your case is what? Exam. In your case, the war is your exam. So do you, and I'm asking this from all 10 of you, do all 10 of you promise me that from today onwards, we will eat war, sleep war, breathe war, and think war? Do you or do you not? Yes. Can I have a quick yes or no? Only one yes is there. Rest, all of you want to stay in the student mode. You have, Chotu has promised on Sunday. Yes, you promised on Sunday. You will eat war, you will sleep war, you will breathe war, you will think war. You are in a war. And people will not leave you. People are not going to leave you. They prepare very well. They don't leave anything. Oh, great. Kudos to you. Kudos to you. You're a true warrior. He's attending class from office. Just imagine, for all those who did not come due to office. Here's an example in front of you, doing it for this war. I am working behind the scenes for you. I will not fight the war for you. I will prepare you for the war, but you have to fight it. Right? Like in Mahabharata, Arjuna had to fight the war. No one else could do it for them. So you all have to fight your wars, right? So on that note, yes, I'm your coach, your friend, your philosopher, and your guide. But it is you who has to win this war, has to fight this war till the very end. Okay, so we'll begin with the basics of performance management. Well, how's the voice quality and the video quality now? As I promised, basics of performance management. So great. When I'm back to my den, there is no stopping. When I'm not in my den, I can't do much. I cannot do much. Not in my den. I really cannot do a lot. Right now. Okay. Now let's understand what is costing. Because management accounting, costing, performance management, whatever you want to call it, you can call it. These are three brothers from the same mother. You can take, I will also share the notes with you. You can take the notes, but if you just listen to me, you'll understand more. Priyadarshini. Priyadarshini, where are you from? Bache, where are you from? Chennai. Okay. I was just in your city. Just few days back, I was in your city. Yes, understanding is definitely better. I'll give you the notes. Don't worry. Right. So these three are the brothers from the same mother. In one country, it's called something else. In other country, in other course, it will be called something else. Right. But this is the same thing. And all of this, the objective is, what is the objective of all of this? The main objective is to help in decision making. So your main objective, doing performance management, doing management accounting, doing costing, is to help in decision making. Now, as a CEO, as a CFO, there is a very famous quote that have you ever seen Mark Zuckerberg on his conferences? Have you seen Mark Zuckerberg on his conferences? Who's Mark Zuckerberg? If I can ask you guys, who's Mark Zuckerberg? CEO of Facebook, right? Have you seen him in his conferences, in his videos? What is he always wearing? What is he always wearing? Same blue shirt. Why? Why is he always wearing the same blue shirt? Can you guys tell me? Why is he? See, this subject, it's all logic. So I'll ask you questions, you'll answer it. We'll come to a conclusion. We'll solve questions on that basis. This is how I teach, and this is how I'm going to teach. It is all because he has to take so many decisions that he avoids the irrelevant decisions of his life. And that is why he does not wake up every day and think, okay, today I will wear this. Today I will wear that. Today I will wear that. No. He wants to focus his mind on his business where he has to take decisions day in and day out, eat problems for breakfast. So CEOs eat problems for breakfast. CEOs eat problems for breakfast. Okay. So that's a typical entrepreneur, that typical CEO. They are always solving some problem. That the company is in some problem, they are trying to solve it. Right. Okay. Now doing management accounting, costing, performance management, when you become a CEO, when you become a CFO, when you become a finance director, the one thing that you'll be doing is, what is that one thing that you'll be doing? It is, yes, the one thing as a CEO, as finance director, as a CFO, that one thing that you'll be doing is decision making. Got it? It is decision making. That one particular thing that you'll be doing is decision making. That is what you will be doing as a CEO, right? So as a CEO, as a finance director, as a management accountant, you will be making decisions. Either you'll be making decisions or you'll be providing data to make decisions. And that is where management accounting or costing or performance management comes in. Now let's talk about a bit about your basics of costing, right? So costing to operate the, absolutely Chotu, absolutely Raj, Chotu Raj. So is it okay if I call you Chotu? Is it okay if I call you Chotu? Yes, sir. Great, great. Hari Smaran. Hari, are you there? Yes. Hari, is that one name or do you have a surname also? Is that one name or do you have a surname also? It is one name, Hari Smaran. Okay. Okay. Sri Hari Chandrasekaran. We have all Hari. Great. Okay. So now talking about cost. So what is basically costing? Finding out the cost and ultimately the selling price of a product. So from cost, I find out the cost of a product, and from cost, I arrive at the selling price. Yes or yes? Yes, guys. I find the cost of a product, any product, to make any product. Like we took an example of this phone. We defined what all would have we used. And then using this cost, we come to the selling price, right? Now, let's again write down what all we used to make, what costs are involved to make a OnePlus phone. So this is a OnePlus. Yes, I'm not the Apple guy. I'm not fond of Apple. Just that I'm using iPad and MacBook, and that I think is something very practical. But other than that, I don't like their products. Yes. So what are the costs involved to make a OnePlus phone? Tell me. It's just a revision of what we did last time. Tina, are you able to follow? Tina, are you able to follow? Tina. Imdad, you are again repeating material cost plus labor cost. Material, labor, and variable overheads. Now tell me now, what all would be used? Hari Smaran is saying buying chipsets from relevant manufacturers. So what all do we use in making this phone? We'll use plastic, lot of plastic. Yes, so you're absolutely right. Tina, it is going to be an interactive class. So I appreciate when you give answers, when you talk to me. Even when you don't understand something, come back with a question. Don't worry. You are allowed to be, you are allowed to make a mistake here. Okay, glass screen. Glass screen. What else? What else do we use? Chipset, as Hari told us. Chipset, indirect cost, then total cost. We'll come to that, but let's just silicon. Okay, silicon. And what else? Metal. Tina, would you like to add anything? You're allowed to be wrong, no problem. Yes. That's it. Plastic. There is copper as well, na? There is copper as well that we use. Copper. Yes. Use the manpower or labor, skilled labor. There will be skilled labor involved. But will the skilled labor magnet? Great answer. There is magnet inside this. Yes. There is zinc. Zinc, I don't know about it. Do you have zinc in a phone? Lead is there. There is lead, but is there zinc? There is lead for sure, but do we have zinc in a phone? Copper, there is lead. Imdad. Guys, do we have zinc in a phone? I mean, I don't know. Do we? Okay. I'll write it then. Zinc, if you say so. If you say so, I'll write zinc. Okay. So zinc, plastic. Then we'll have skilled labor. Then there'll be some semi-skilled labor. Right? I'll tell you what all of this is. Speakers, right? So for to make speakers, what would we need? Okay, I'll give it to you. Speakers also, right? Like the new speakers of my phone. I have another phone. Let me show. But it's a poor man's phone, right? It's a Xiaomi 11T Pro, right? It's a poor man's phone. Okay, Xiaomi is a poor man's brand, right? So the speakers are made by Harman Kardon. They've given Harman Kardon speakers. So okay, I'll take that. Zinc, no idea. Okay, even I don't have the idea, but I think Imdad told us, so we'll take it from him, right? Then, okay, all of this is what? Till this point, all of this is what? This is all the raw material, or you can also call it as direct material. Raw material or direct material. Now there will also be labor, which could be skilled, semi-skilled, or unskilled labor, right? So all of this is your labor. Now, myself as an ACCA working in an accounts department, would I be skilled labor, semi-skilled, or unskilled? Skilled. So I would come under skilled labor. Anyone here who has completed their articleship? Anyone who's completed their articleship? Priyadarshini. So you would come under semi-skilled labor because you've completed your articleship. You're not qualified yet, but you're still semi-skilled, right? But someone who's just passed class 12, do you have anyone who's just passed class 12? One of my student has just He's not yet class 12 pass, but he's in P level. Anyone who's just passed class 12? Yes. Anyone who's just passed class 12? No. But if you just pass class 12 and go to work in an accounts department, you will be treated under unskilled labor. Okay. So you'll be treated as a unskilled labor. So skilled would be ACCA, right? Semi-skilled again, articleship completed, not qualified, semi-skilled, or could be skilled also. Depends on what level of work they have handled. If they've handled the entire audit, then we'll take them under skilled labor, right? Just semi-qualified can also be a skilled labor. One semi-qualified was my boss also in my last company. The New York listed company. He was my boss. He was the finance director over there. He was semi-qualified. Even before that, one guy from UK he had just passed 4 papers and he had been working for a long time. So he was also the finance controller and I was like working under him. So it's, I mean, degree really doesn't matter, but just to make a reference point, right? Unskilled. Yes, he had great experience. Great guy. He was a great guy. He is still, but sadly I don't talk to him or meet him anymore. Maybe, who knows, I might just go and meet him someday. But he was a great guy. Yes. So unskilled again, I've told you, right? So we've spoken on raw material, we've spoken on labor, but there is one more thing. If you just put the raw materials and the labor, can they manufacture the phone? If you just put the raw materials and the labor together, can they manufacture the phone? Tina, tell me. If you just put raw material, no, they will need something known as machinery, and that machinery will have something known as depreciation. Yes, support would be there. You will need a place. You'll be paying rent for that, right? You'll be paying electricity as well. So depreciation, rent, electricity, maybe some other miscellaneous expenditure like servicing of machine, service of machine, right? Machine repairs of machine, right? So all this is neither raw material, salary of supervisor working in your factory, or salary of some repair maintenance, right? Or maybe research and development, R&D. None of this is material and none of this is labor. This cannot be labor. Why? Salary of supervisor cannot be labor. Why? Because he is not directly involved in the production. He's just overseeing the entire factory, but he's not involved in the production. So he's not labor. He's not direct cost. It is not direct cost. There are just two direct costs, material and labor. But tell me, this is still a cost? Yes. Isn't it? Isn't this still a cost? Yes or no? So all the cost which is not material and which is not labor, but yet it is used in production, it is known as overheads. You call them as overheads. Okay. So you call these as overheads, and these are the 3 type of costs we are ever going to deal with. These are the 3 costs. There is no other cost that is involved till your production is done. There is no other cost that we will deal with, because to value inventory, to see what is your cost of sales, you will need these costs. And what are the costs? One is raw material or direct material. Second is your labor. And the third one is overheads. Okay. Yes, guys. Is this much clear or not? Is it clear or not? Clear. Everyone. Because this is just a revision of your management accounting. So I'm not putting too much emphasis on solving questions and all. I just want you to have a good knowledge of it. Now, as per your costing, when you do your costing, so there is direct labor. How is R&D in overhead? So you keep doing research and development to make new products. You keep doing research, or maybe you develop new processes there, and to develop those processes, there is a cost. Yes. Hari. To develop those processes, there is a cost, right? So maybe you are doing research and development to enter in new market. Yes. That must come under direct cost. So how will that come under direct cost? If you're making a product, if you're developing a new product or a new process, how does that make a new, how does that constitute direct material or direct labor? You don't know. Production has not yet started. So if production has not yet started, you do not know what is going to be. You cannot include it in your actual product cost, right? So it is overheads only. Okay, if you say so, I'll say not research, but development. So development cost, you want to develop a new product, or you want to develop the existing product, or you want to develop a new process, all that will involve some cost, right? So all that is your overhead. Now you have three types of cost: material, labor, and overhead. So direct material, what is direct material? Whatever is directly used in the production, right? So for phone, so for making this mic, you'll need some metal, right? Some buttons, some plastic, this iron, some wire also you'll need, copper or something, right? So that's how you'll make this mic, right? So direct material plus direct labor. When you add them both, so direct material plus direct labor will give you what? It will give you what? Yes, guys. Once who attended the last class, please tell me direct material plus direct labor. What will this give you? It is going to give you prime cost. Yes, it's going to give you prime cost. Okay. This much is clear. Now you also add production overheads to it. Production overheads to it, right? So this is direct material plus direct labor will give you prime cost. Then you add production overheads to it. What does this give you? Yes. This is going to give you cost of production. It's going to give you cost of production. Okay. Yes, Tina, absolutely right. You are absolutely right. So you've done direct material, direct labor. It gives you prime cost. Then you add production cost. That will give you cost of production. Now, at this stage of cost of production, what happens is that your product is ready to be sold. Product is ready to be sold, right? At the at this stage where you're considering cost of production, your product is ready for sale. But can you sell it by incurring these costs? No. You will have to incur selling and distribution overhead, also administration overhead. So what is selling and distribution? Basically could be commission, could be giving to distributors, could be transportation, right? So these two things. And administration is salary of the accounting department and everything which is other than production. So all that will be admin overhead. So you add this, this becomes your, this gives you, no, this is not, what does this become? Selling, distribution, any other. So all of them are included in administration overhead. What does this become? This becomes cost of sales. This becomes your cost of sale. Now you add opening stock and reduce closing stock. So that will give you, so you add opening stock, remove the closing stock. This will give you cost of goods sold. Okay. Cost of goods sold or cost of goods available for sale, right? Yes, everyone. Because when this is opening stock, which you already have had of the finished goods, minus the closing stock, which you've not sold. So this becomes your cost of goods sold, right? Yes or yes. Is this much clear or not? Anything that is not clear, we'll come to everything step by step, one by one. We'll take everything one at a time. Very, very basic understanding we are building. Tax, generally tax, we do not consider tax as far as doing costing. Tax comes later, right? Okay. And to your COGS, that is your COGS is cost of goods sold, or you can also call it COGS. To COGS, you add markup or margin. You add a markup or margin, and that gives you your selling price. Okay. Or sales. Selling price or sales. Yes, clear. Markup or margin is basically profit. Could be profit. Now, how many of you know the funda behind markup and margin? How many of you know the funda behind markup and margin? Tell me. How many of you know the funda behind? Okay, Chotu Raj knows this. Who else knows the funda behind markup and margin? Okay, I'll tell you. Now see, markup is actually made up of two words. What are those two words? Mark up. So what does mark up means? That there is already something existing and you are increasing that. So you increase something when you add a markup. Now, to the contrary, margin is made up of two words, which is merge in. So which means that you are reducing something to arrive at something. So you increase the cost to arrive at you increase the cost to arrive at selling price, and you reduce the selling price to arrive at cost. Now selling price reduced by margin and cost is increased by mark up. So margin is what? Merge in. This margin is made from the term merge in. Merging it in. So selling price, you want to merge the selling price to your cost. Is that clear or not? Yes, people. Okay. Everyone. Okay. Got this. Okay. Now consider this example. Cost is $50,000. Margin is 15%. Find the selling price. Yes. Who can find the selling price? Cost is 50,000. Margin is 15%. Tell me what is the selling price. Tell me what's the selling price. Yes. Find out. Take 2 minutes and find it out. Quickly. Very quickly. Super duper quick. You know that selling price is equal to cost plus margin, or I can say that cost is equal to, I can also say that cost is equal to selling price minus margin, and margin is always a percentage of, margin is always a percentage of, Imdad is saying 750. 10 you missed. Okay. Priyadarshini is saying 57,500. Okay. Tina is also saying. So margin is always on as a percentage of selling price. Markup is always percentage of cost. Does that change your answer? Yes, Om, you're absolutely right. Does this change your answer? Markup is always on percentage of cost because you add cost, you add margin on markup on cost, but you reduce margin from selling price. So selling margin is always a selling percentage of selling price. Now tell me, does your answer change or remain the same? Yes. Okay. In this equation, what do I have? 50750. None of that. Not 5 zeros. In this equation, what do I have? Yes, in this equation, what do I have? Cost. I do have the cost or not? Yes. Tell me. Do I have the cost or not? Yes. Do I have the selling price? Do I have the selling price? No. So I'll assume it to be X. And this is a, do I have the margin percentage? Do I have the margin percentage? Do I have the margin percentage? Guys, do I have the margin percentage? People. Tell me. Yes. So it is 15%. It is 15% of what? It is 15% of what? Margin is always percentage of selling price. So it is 15% of X, and cost I already know. So my equation becomes 50,000 is equal to X minus 0.15 or 15% of X, where 0.85X is equal to 50,000 and X is equal to how much? Can you guys find out now? Yes, people. Can you find it out now? Can you find out now? Okay. Can you solve this equation? How many cannot solve an equation? How many do not know the LHS, RHS? How many of you do not know the LHS and RHS? Yes, Priyadarshini, you are right. Om is right. Chotu is right. How many of you cannot do this equation part? Tell me. Yes, how many cannot do the equation part? How many of you do not know how to solve these equations? Okay, one more question I'll give you. So sale is dollar 45,000. Markup is 20%. What's the cost? Right. Do this one now. Yes, quickly. Yes, guys. Okay. Okay. Some are saying 37,500. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay. So we know that cost plus markup is equal to sale. Yes or no? We know that markup is always a percentage of cost. Do we have cost? X plus 0.20x is equal to sale. We have 45,000. So it becomes 1.20x is equal to 45,000, and x is equal to how much? 45,000 upon 1.20, which becomes how much? How much is it? Point 20 becomes 37,005. Yes. This much is clear or not? Yes, guys. Is that clear? Give me 2 minutes. Yes, guys. So is it clear or not? Everyone. Tina, Hari, you're right. Chotu, you're right. Vagisha, you're right. Priyadarshini, you're right. Om, you're right. Hari, you're right. Srujan, you're right. Everyone, is it clear? You want to do more questions on this? You want to do more questions? Okay. I'm giving you 8 questions. How much time will you need for that? 8 questions like this only. Okay, 5 questions quickly. Yes, I'm giving you 5 minutes for these 5 questions. Everyone. Some are quick, some are slow. So 5 minutes, that's the threshold. Okay, quickly. I just got great coffee from South India. Absolutely wonderful coffee. South India has great view and great coffee. Priyadarshini would understand. Anyone else who's from South India here? Imdad. Hari is also from South India. Great, great, great. Imdad is from Bangalore. I was in Bangalore for 4 hours today. I was in Bangalore for 3 hours today. So to don't use so much of short form. Don't use any no abbreviations will be used in exam, please. No abbreviations in exam. Okay. What about the others? What about the others? They're still doing. Yes. Vagisha, Priyadarshini, Vagisha, Priyadarshini, Tina. Tina, where are you? Tina, where are you? Ayushi, welcome to the class. Ayushi, welcome to the class. Good evening. Okay. First one, selling price is 40,000, margin is 20%. So cost we do not know. Cost is X, margin obviously 20, cost is 32,000, right? Second one, markup is 20%. So selling price is 1.20, 40,000 upon 1.20, 33,333, right? Third, selling price 25,000, markup 15%, cost. So selling price we have, markup we have. So 25,000 upon 1.15. So 21,739, 21,739. Then selling price is 25,000, cost is 20,000. What is the margin? So what's the difference? 5,000 upon 25,000, margin is 20%. Okay. And last one, selling price is 30,000, markup is 25%. So again, similar question, markup, cost 30,000 on 1.25, 24,000. Cost is 24,000. I hope this much is clear. Yes. Okay. So now what I'm going to tell you is about something about fixed cost and variable cost. Explain the fourth, 3/4. So this is very simple, no? 5,000 is the difference between cost and selling price. Imdad, yes or no? 5,000 is the difference, right? You divide it by selling price, you get the margin 1/5 or 20%, right? Yes, guys. Okay. Now there are three friends. Okay, let's just first talk about two friends. So there are two friends. So friend number 1 and friend number 2. For friend number 1, if he studies for 2 hours, he gets 20 marks. He studies for 3 hours, he gets 30 marks. He studies for 4 hours, he gets 40 marks. 5 hours, he gets 50 marks. 6 hours, he gets 60 marks. Coming to F2, that is friend number 2. If he studies for 1 hour, he gets 50 marks. 2 hours, he gets 50 marks. 3 hours, he gets 50 marks. 4 hours, he gets 50 marks. No matter how much he studies, he gets 50 marks only. So this guy, F1, let's name his as Jignesh. Do you know who is Jignesh? No? Do you guys know who is Jignesh? You don't know who's Jignesh? No. He's one of my student who's always present in my live physical classes, right? When I take physical classes, he's always present. There is always the door opening and closing. So there is this air. So I've named him Jignesh, right? And second friend is Mridul. Okay. So Jignesh and Mridul, they are two friends, right? Or let's assume that they are Deepika and Ranveer. Now you guys know who they are. Now you guys know who are they? Deepika and Ranveer. Yes or no? Yes. You know who are Deepika and Ranveer, right? Or Allu and you can call them Allu Arjun and Rashmika, right? Those from the south can connect with that. So what happens is, that as Deepika increases the time that she studies, she is able to increase her marks. But Ranveer, no matter how much Ranveer studies, he gets the same amount of marks. And this is what is the exact behavior of variable cost. And this is the exact behavior of fixed cost. Now, variable cost is basically the cost which increases, as you increase your production. So as you go on increasing your production, so if I take production here and cost over here, if I take production, cost on y-axis and production on x-axis, then as the number of units will increase, the number of units produced increases, the cost will also go on increasing. Clear? This is a typical pattern of a variable cost. This is a typical pattern. Variable cost will increase with the number of units that you are able to increase. If you are able to take your production from 1000, so but the one thing is that variable cost per unit remains constant. This does not change. We assume that it does not change. It does change, but we assume that it does not change. It remains constant. This is an assumption that variable cost. So if you are producing 1000 units and your variable cost is 10 per unit, what is your total variable cost? Yes. If you're producing 1000 units and your variable cost is 10 per unit, so what is your total variable cost? Total variable cost is 10,000. Now, if you are producing 5,000 units and your total variable cost per unit remains constant, how much does your total variable cost become? Yes. Yes, guys. 50,000, right? So this is a typical behavior of a variable cost, which is Deepika Padukone, right? She will tomorrow file a case that Satyarth sir is using my name to promote his classes. Okay. But there can be 100 Deepika Padukone. She's not the only one. So we will win that case also, right? If she files a case against me, yes. Ranveer typically shows the behavior of fixed cost. What is fixed cost? So fixed cost basically is no matter how many units you produce, it is going to remain the same, which is if it is 10 lakh, if your fixed cost is 10 lakh, totality it is always constant, but fixed cost per unit will keep changing because of something known as absorption. Fixed cost per unit will keep changing because of something known as absorption. Suppose you're making 10,000 units. What is your fixed cost per unit? What's the fixed cost per unit? Suppose I have budgeted that I will make 1 lakh units. I have budgeted that I will make 1 lakh units. 1 lakh units. Now my fixed cost per unit, if I make 10,000 units, what is my fixed cost per unit? Tell me. Yes. If I've made 10,000 units, what is my fixed cost per unit? Guys, quickly tell me. This is the fixed cost, total fixed cost. This is the number of units that I make. What is my fixed cost per unit? Yes, Hari, you wanted to ask something? Okay. So what is my fixed cost per unit in this case? Guys, I'm really disappointed. You are not able to do a simple division. This is the units that I'm producing. This is my total fixed cost. Total fixed cost is 1 million, 10 lakh. What is my fixed cost per unit? It is 100. 100 per unit, right? But what is my budgeted fixed cost per unit? What was my budgeted fixed cost per unit? Budgeted units 100,000. What is my budgeted fixed cost per unit? Rupees. We are talking dollars. It is $10 per unit. $10 per unit. But what happens is that there is a difference between budgeted fixed cost per unit and actual fixed cost per unit. Yes. What is more, budgeted or actual? Budgeted fixed cost per unit is more or actual fixed cost per unit is more? Actual is more per unit. Imdad and Chotu, both of you are wrong. Budgeted is less now. Actually how many units have I made? So actual fixed cost per unit is 100 and budgeted fixed cost unit is, okay, Chotu and yes, all three of you are right. Sorry, my bad. I read it wrong. Right. So my actual fixed cost per unit is higher, which means that I have under absorbed. This is under absorption of overhead. Under absorption of fixed overhead. I'll just tell you what is absorption. So in this case, it is under absorption, which means that if I made 10,000 units, how many, if I go by the budgeted fixed cost per unit, what would be my absorbed fixed cost? Absorbed fixed cost. 10,000 I have produced. Yes. Budgeted fixed cost is 10. So as per this, what should be my fixed cost that I've absorbed? In my production, I've absorbed how much? It should be 1 lakh. But what about the other 9 lakh? The actual fixed cost is 10 lakh. What about the other 9 lakh? This is known as under absorbed overhead. Under absorbed overhead. Right? And this will go to P&L account. This is a loss. Guys, this is a loss. If my capacity is 100,000 units and I'm making less than that, I'm making under absorption. Now tell me, if I've made 2 lakh units, if I've made 2 lakh units, what is my fixed cost per unit? What's my fixed cost per unit? It is $5 for 1 million. Fixed cost is 1 million. Now this situation is known as over absorption. Okay. This is not a loss, right? This is known as over absorption. Okay. Yes. Clear or not? Now what we do with overheads is, now I've told you variable cost and fixed cost. Is there any confusion regarding what is variable cost and what is fixed cost? Everyone, I want to know from everyone, is there any confusion? Fixed cost. So basically fixed cost, no matter how many units you produce, fixed cost is going to remain constant. If you produce less units than you have budgeted, it's a loss. So that will go to the P&L account. It's a loss because just imagine if you had 10 lakh of fixed cost, 1 million fixed cost. Priyadarshini, are you following? Priyadarshini, are you following? Yes. So if you have 1 million of fixed cost and you have budgeted that you will produce 100,000 units, but you've only produced 10,000 units, which means your fixed cost per unit is more than your budgeted fixed cost per unit. And this is a case of under absorption, which means your absorbed fixed cost is just 100,000. So this is under absorption. Got it? How do I find absorbed fixed cost? Budgeted fixed cost multiplied by the number of units. You are not utilizing your full capacity. So absorbed fixed cost is equal to budgeted fixed cost per unit multiplied by the number of units produced multiplied by the number of units produced. Is that clear? Ayushi, are you there? She's not there. Yes, so it is less absorbed. Okay. Yes, is that clear or not? So basically what is happening is you had thought that you will produce X number of units, but you are not able to produce that number of units. So you are under absorbing your overheads. Okay. So if absorbed fixed cost is less than actual fixed cost, then is it over absorption or under absorption? It is under or over? Is that under absorption or over absorption? This is case of under absorption. But if your absorbed fixed cost is greater than your actual fixed cost, then is this under or over absorption? This is over absorption. This will be over absorption, right? This will be known as over absorption. Is that clear or not? Yes, people. Why did we leave this page? So variable cost and fixed cost. Clear? Why have I left this page? Right. Now what I do, there is one more type of cost, which is known as mixed cost. Another type of cost is known as mixed cost. Now, what is a mixed cost? Basically, it will say that at different levels, the cost is different. So maybe at 2000 units, the cost is 500,000. At 3000 units, the cost is 650,000 at 4,000 units, the cost is 700,000, right? And at 8,000 units, the cost is 1200,000. So this is basically, it says that at different units of production, the total cost will be different. But this cost is not just fixed cost or not just variable cost. It will have both. It is going to have both the costs. Now, how do you find out? So what you have to do is you have to find out variable cost and fixed cost from these costs, right? So how do you do it? You take the difference of the highest and the lowest level of units production, which is 8,000 minus 2,000 minus 2,000. How much is it? Yes. It is 6,000. And also you take the corresponding cost as well. So what is the difference of cost? Difference of cost. What is the difference of cost? 12 lakh minus 5 lakh is 7 lakh. Now what you do is you find out the variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit will remain same across all the units. So you take difference of cost and you divide it by the difference of units. Yes, what is it? How much is the difference of cost minus difference of units is 6,000. Yes. So what is the variable cost per unit? 116.67. I could have taken better numbers, but now. So what is the total variable cost at 2,000 units? At 2,000 units, what is the total variable cost? Variable cost is how much? 2,33,333, right? This is the variable cost. What is the fixed cost then? Fixed cost would be total cost minus variable cost. Fixed cost is total cost minus variable cost, which is 266,667. So I've come to, so I found out the very fixed cost, which is going to remain same. Now, if I tell you, find out the total cost at 2,500 units of production. Total cost at 2,500 units of production. Tell me. Can you find the total cost at 2,500 units of production? Fixed cost is going to remain same. Variable cost per unit already you have. Come on, find out. And then we do a full-fledged question on this. Then I tell you what is under over. I've told you under over absorption. I'll tell you how do we do overhead absorption rate, and traditionally how we used to allocate overheads. So what is the total cost? It is equal to fixed cost plus variable cost 116.67 multiplied by 2,500. Yes, how much is it? $116.67 into 2,500, which makes it 266.67 plus 291,675. This becomes how much? Plus 291,675. So this becomes 583,350. Yes, clear or not? Is this much clear or not? Explain again, sir. Okay. So basically what you do is step one over here. So step one is to take the highest, and this is also there in the QA question. Cost is 558,334. Okay. Okay. Plus 266,667. 558. 558,342. Yes. Is that right? Yes. Priyadarshini, you're right. Okay. So what you need to do, you take the highest and the lowest volume of production, also take corresponding cost. Step 3 is to find the difference in cost and difference in volume. So firstly, you'll find the difference in cost, then you'll find the difference in volume. Next step, step number 4 will be to divide. So difference in cost, because you want to find cost per unit. So you take difference in cost and you divide it by difference in volume. You take difference in cost and you divide it by difference in volume. Yes, is that clear? So you get variable cost per unit. And then step 5 is to step 5 is find total variable cost. And then step 6 is fixed cost is equal to total cost minus variable cost. Okay. So then at any number of units, you can find out the total fixed cost and the total cost. Got this or not? Because fixed cost will not change. In this case, Imdad, fixed cost, we found out the fixed cost as 26,667, 266,667. Yes, Imdad. Yes. So it will not change. So it remains the same. Just we add the variable cost per unit. Is that clear or not? Great. Vagisha, clear. What about the others? Ravi. Ravi, what about you? Clear? Great. Okay, let's do a question on this. So I'll just take out a question. Give me 2 minutes. Then you'll do the question. I explain you the question concept and you do the question. That is how we go. Right. Okay, can you see this? Can you see the question? Yes, guys, can you see the question? Can you see the question, guys? Okay. So start doing this. You are given output, total cost. You have to calculate variable cost per unit, calculate total cost per total fixed cost, estimate the total cost if output is 350 units, estimate the total cost if output is 600 units. This is your question. Start doing this right now. Okay. So I guess most of you have done this. Now the first part is to calculate variable cost per unit. So we'll calculate a difference in cost, difference in units, highest and lowest is 400 minus 200. Difference in cost is 9,000 minus 7,000. So variable cost per unit is cost upon the difference of unit. So it is 10 per unit, right? So B is to find the total fixed cost, right? So total fixed cost, what would it be? A is 10, right? Fixed cost. We have total variable cost at 200 units is 10 into 200, right? Total cost at 200 units is 7,000. So fixed cost, which will not change, fixed cost is not going to change, 5,000, right? Yes. Yes, guys. Is that clear? Everyone? People, is that clear? Yes. Total cost if output is total cost. This is a big problem. Total cost if output is 350 units. We know that my fixed cost is going to remain constant. Yes. So my variable cost at 350 units, I know my cost per unit is 10. So what's my total cost? 5,000 plus 3,500, right? The total cost if output is 600 units. The fixed cost, I know it is 3,500. Variable cost is 10 per unit into 600. So my total cost is 6,000 plus 3,500, right? Yes. Is that clear, everyone? Can you explain B again? So B, fixed cost, total variable cost at 200 units. How much was it? Hurry. Total variable cost at 200 units. I know it is 10 per unit into 200. Hurry. See, 10 into 200. Total cost I'm given at 200 units 7,000. So fixed cost is what? Total cost minus variable cost. Yes. Yes, Hari. Okay. Rest everything is clear. Total cost will be 11,000. How come 11,000? Fixed cost. Okay, fixed cost is 5,000. Right. Okay, fixed cost is 5,000. I picked up the very wrong cell. Okay. Yes. Is that clear, everyone? Great. Okay. Tell you how we have always been treating the overheads. Now, what we do is we have always assumed that the overheads, they are a function of either volume, they are a function of either volume of activity or number of direct labor hours. So what we used to do, we used to find out one overhead absorption rate, right? We have always done this. We used to find out overhead absorption rate. How did we used to find this out? We used to take total overheads and divide this by relevant basis. Total overheads divide by relevant basis. We would get overhead per unit or per labor hour or per machine hour. So we have always found out the overheads like this. But there is a simple, slight, small problem in this. Let me give you an example. Suppose you are running a restaurant, right? So there are three things that you are making. The most popular is a biryani. Second most popular is your pizza. And third most popular is your custard. Okay. So for biryani and pizza, for biryani you are using gas, cooking gas, right? You are using cooking gas, which is around costing you around $1,000 for biryani. For pizza, you're using an oven which is electric, right? Which is costing you around 500. For custard, you're using neither gas nor electricity. Okay. So what you would do, and it takes you 1 hour to make biryani. No, 2 hours to make biryani. 2 hours, 2 hours to make biryani. Labor hours, it takes 1 hour to make a pizza and 0.5 hours to make custard. Now, what is your total overheads? How much is the total overheads? Yes, tell me. What is your total overheads in this case? Yes, guys. What's the total overheads in this case? So this OAR is overhead absorption rate. Now tell me, what is the total overheads that you are incurring in your this biryani pizza custard? Yes, tell me. Tell me, guys. Guys, are you there? Your total overheads is $1,500, right? What is the total number of labor hours? Excuse me. Yes, people. What is the total number of labor hours? 3.5 hours. What is the overhead absorption rate per hour? Tell me. Calculate it, tell me. $1,500 divided by 3.5. So somewhere around 429 per hour. Yes, guys. Yes or no? Yes, people. Now I'm only talking about overheads, no labor, no material, just overheads. 420 now, 429. Now, if on the basis of this overhead rate, if I have to if I have to absorb this to my products, what is my overheads absorbed? What will be the absorbed overheads on the basis of this? Tell me. Yes, guys, tell me. What is the overhead absorbed on the basis of labor hour? It is 429 per hour, 2 hours, 1 hour, and 0.5 hours. Tell me quickly. Yes. How much of overhead am I going to absorb to biryani, pizza, and custard? Tell me. And this is what we have always done traditionally. And I'll show you the problem with it. Tell me first, how much overheads have to be absorbed? Biryani is 858. Then pizza is 429. And custard is custard is 215, I can say 215, 1501.5. I can say it is 215. Imdad is saying 150. Custard. Imdad, what is 1501.5? Now the entire idea total. Okay, total. So it's 858 plus 429 plus 215. 1559, same. It's coming to same. No problem. I'll just do 428 and 214. Right? Approximately. Now it is fine. 858 plus 428 plus 214. Now is it fine? Yes, everyone. Did you get this? Now the entire idea behind this education system is to make you think. And now I'm going to actually fulfill my purpose of making you think. Now you are allowed to be creative. Tell me, what is the problem with this type of costing? Tell me, what is the problem with this type of costing? What is the problem with absorbing overheads like this? The actual problem. What is the actual problem? Don't tell me over absorbed, under absorbed. Tell me, if you are sitting on business, how? How is it a problem to find profit or loss? If you're sitting on business, what problem are you going to face if you are going to price using this absorption, overhead absorption? Then what problem are you going to face? Not related to activities. Okay. But what would be the problem? Yes, I want everyone to answer. Please participate, everyone. It has to be an interactive class, guys. Otherwise, there's no point of teaching. Otherwise, there is no point of teaching. If there is no interaction, then no teaching. There is no point of telling you guys anything if you cannot interact. Come on, everyone. Hurry, hurry. How much absorption cost can be avoided? I don't know. Prashansha, Prashansha, Priyadarshini, Srihari, Srujan, Tina. Tina, you are from Maharashtra, Pune. Nagpur, Maharashtra. Okay. Yes, please, Vagisha. Overhead is not absorbed on the basis of activities. So to saying that. Okay. Then so what? What is the problem? If it's not absorbed on the basis of activities, what is the problem here? What is the actual problem here? Yes, guys. What is the real problem? People, what's the real problem here? Tina from Maharashtra. Tell me, what's the real problem here? Okay, overhead is not absorbed on the basis of activities. Fine. But what's the real problem? No problem, Srihari. If you have deadline task, then no problem. The idea is to just make you identification of relevant activities or cost driver. Great, Srihari. If you are clear, then fine. So what is the real problem? You are all telling me the technical part. Okay, I agree with you. But what is the real problem? In business, what would be the problem? In business, what would be the problem? Prashansha, I totally agree with you. That does not show clear absorption based on hours spent, right? But in business, what is the problem? What is the business problem? See, you have to help your CEO. You have to help the owner. If you say, tell the owner, sir, there is not clear absorption based on hours spent on the product. He does not know absorption costing. In business, to minimize absorption cost, but a business does not know absorption costing. Okay, Priyadarshini, very close. Very close. Priyadarshini has said cost is more than the actual overhead. You are partly right, partly wrong. Overhead is not allocated. So how the business is concerned? Chotu. Suppose you're just running a restaurant and your accountant tells you, sir, we are incurring $858 on one plate of biryani. We are incurring $428 on one pizza and $214. The problem is this product will be underpriced because the actual cost is more. Actual cost is more, but your accountant says that your absorbed overhead is just 858. So on that basis, you are going to price your product. It is going to be underpriced, and hence you will take a loss. Is that clear? Pizza, again, actual cost is 500. Priyadarshini is the one who's come the most. And I think Prashansha, yes. Prashansha, you've come the most. Yes, Prashansha, absolutely right answer. Absolutely. Brilliant. Brilliant answer. Brilliant answer. Prashansha and Priyadarshini. Priyadarshini, you've come close. Prashansha, you are on spot. You've hit the bullseye. This is going to be underpriced. This is going to be underpriced. Somebody will sell a bowl of custard for $100 and nobody is going to buy it from you because you have overpriced this. You have overpriced it. Someone is going to sell it for way below than what you have because you have overpriced this thing. Is that clear? Yes, everyone. This is underpriced, so you'll have a loss. Again, underpriced and loss of customers. Customers will not come. Yes, everyone. Is that clear or not? Is this much clear or not? Clear. Very good. So to address this problem, we introduce you to something known as my first topic, which I always start. So all of this, whatever we did, was the basics of costing. All this is just basics of costing. I hope all of that was clear. Yes. Now to address this problem of over or under absorption, we take of this obviously traditional way, we do something known as activity based costing. Now to understand activity based costing, you will have to understand how the production over the years has changed. So just imagine like 100 years ago, did you have robots? So hundreds of years ago, did you have robots? Tell me. No. So who was doing all the production? Who was doing all the production? Not machines. Not machines. Majority production was being done by labor, and hence labor used to be a substantial cost of your production. Material, labor, and overheads used to be small machines, handheld machines used to use. Overheads used to be a very small part. of your production. But come to 2020. Is there any manual production that is done apart from handicrafts? Apart from, if you exclude handicrafts, is there any manual production that they do? Tell me. There is no manual production, and you will see that this is the old method, old or traditional method of production. But now when you will see, now you'll see that technology has changed, and due to that change, a large part of your production is overheads, and a very small part, in fact, even smaller part, is your labor. So material has maintained its space, because obviously to make anything, material is the one thing that is direct cost. In place of labor, now you have more overheads. Now you have more overheads and less labor cost. So earlier, in this scenario, finding out overhead absorption rate on the basis of labor hours made sense. Yes or no? This made sense? Yes. This made sense in this case, because labor used to be a huge part of your production. Whatever was being made by the manual labor, right? They used to measure things, cut them, make things, right? Even even in the construction industry now, is anyone closely related to the construction industry, or has anyone seen how modern construction takes place? Anyone whose father is into this construction or something? How does it take place? Now there is no more labor coming. I mean, there is, but new method of production is, there is no more, there is heavy equipment. Everything is done in factories. Even your ceiling to your this glass door and everything, it's done in factory. It's just taken to the site and assembled over there, right? And very little labor is used, like tower crane, guys. Chotu Raj, absolutely right. So, but now you see that overheads, because of the machine, because we use machines more for shifting of material, right? For almost everything. Now, if you see modern day construction, even the bridges, the long bridges that are being made over rivers, they're all prefabricated. They are all prefabricated. Nothing is done on site. They just bring it and they just assemble it on site. It's all prefabricated. If anyone has any relation with the modern manufacturing, they will realize this. Now, but here, does using overhead absorption rate, that is basis labor hours, make sense? Now over here, basis labor hour does not make sense, right? So that is why this overhead absorption rate, even overhead absorption rate cannot make sense on the basis of machine hours, because I will tell you that machine hours, maybe one thing is taking more time to, because I'll give you an example of dominoes. An example of dominoes. Do you guys know what is dominoes? Do you guys know what is Domino's? What does Domino's do? Pizza, pasta, garlic bread, right? They've got pizza, which makes a majority of production. They've got pasta and they've got garlic bread, right? Pizza takes the most amount of machine hours. Yes or no? Maximum machine hours. Right? Pasta and garlic bread does not take that many machine hours. But do you know their major cost, their major overhead cost is not the production of pizza. It's not in that machine that they incur the major cost. The major cost in this case of Domino's is, can someone tell me what is one major cost of Domino's? Okay, let me put it this way. When was the, no, Chotu is right. Chotu, you're right. When was the last time you went and had pizza at Domino's? Tell me. When was the last time? Yes, Prashansha, you're also right. The major cost is delivery. Major cost is delivery. Will it make sense to take the entire overhead cost and divide it by machine hours? When the major cost is delivering? Yes, everyone. Will it make sense to take the total overhead cost and divide it by the machine hours? Total machine hours taken by pizza, pasta, and because you might be delivering garlic breads, you might be delivering pasta, and you want to know how many number of deliveries for each pizza, pasta, garlic bread happened. And then you will be able to know that this delivery cost, where is it going? Just merely dividing it because of maximum production of pizza or maximum utilization of machine hours, does it make sense? No. Right? There is another type of cost which happens is inspection. What is inspection? So for each batch of pizza that is made, it is inspected that pizza is perfect for each batch of pizza, and they have made quality testing, right? So inspection, delivery. Now also imagine if that machine which makes pizza, it's very dirty, what will happen? If that machine, there is dough sticking on it, there is some cheese sticking on it, what will happen? Quality will go bad. Yes. Yes or no? Yes. So every time you are making a new type of pizza which has completely different ingredients, you will do something known as machine setup. Then there will be something known as packaging cost. Packaging cost. Then there will be inspection, delivery, machine setup, packaging cost. Then there will be another cost which could be packaging setup, ordering cost, order cost. Suppose a huge order comes, your order cost is then less. But if just someone orders one garlic bread, your order cost goes high. Your order processing cost goes high. So all this, each of this is known as a separate cost pool. Each of them are separate cost pools. Inventory holding cost, ordering cost also. Ordering cost goes high now because suppose you have a large order which has pizza, garlic bread, and pasta and cold drink and chips and cookies and everything. Now your order cost comes down, order processing cost comes down. But suppose just because it is going to take the same amount of time to process that order. Someone is going to take the order. Someone is going to tell that to the kitchen. Kitchen is going to start preparing it. All that takes time. And that is your order processing cost. Order processing. Yes or no? Yes, guys. So all of this is called separate cost pool. Inspection will be a separate cost pool. Delivery is a separate cost pool, which we will analyze. Machine setup again is a separate cost pool. So every time you have to do machine setup, you'll need to see that for suppose for pizza, how many machine setups did we do? For garlic breads, how many machine setups did we do? For packaging cost, again, what is the packaging cost? So number of, that will again depend on the number of orders, or order processing cost, that is again on the number of orders, right? So what will the inspection cost depend on? Inspection will depend on, let's take the next one. Inspection will depend on number of inspections, because every time the one staff is inspecting it, he's spending some time, right? So that is number of inspections. Then just imagine packaging. What will packaging cost depend on? It will depend on number of orders. Yes. Then order processing, again on the basis of number of orders, right? Inspection, packaging. What else is there? Machine setup. Machine setup will depend on number of machine runs or setups. Machine runs or setups, right? Again, delivery will depend on, delivery is going to depend on number of, yes, Hari, are you understanding? Hari Smaran. Is this clear? There should be no problem. Anyone who's facing a problem can anytime, night, day, anytime can come up to me and say, sir, this is the problem. During the class, after the class, anytime you can discuss whatever problem that you're facing, but you'll discuss it. Resolve that you'll discuss it. Everyone, mummy swear. Okay. Mummy swear we will discuss it. Right? Yes, everyone. So this will depend on number of deliveries. Delivery will depend on number of deliveries. Now these, which we've just seen, this is known as cost drivers. The things that drive the cost. First of all, I want to ask everyone, have you all got your this thing notes or not? Everyone's got their notes or not? Not yet. I had shared it on the group. Got your notes or not? Hari Smaran. I shared it on the WhatsApp group. So have you got the PDF notes? Yes, what about the others? But not taken printout, no problem. No problem if you've not taken printout. Even I have not taken any printout ever. Even I have not taken any printout ever. Okay. Yes, guys. Okay. So cost drivers are basically nothing that drive the cost. Like who drives the house? Vagisha is saying she did not get the notes. Vagisha, it's on the group. You can just go check the group. Chotu saying mummy runs the house. Chotu is so intelligent. In my house, my parents live in Delhi. I live in Lucknow. So in my house, generally my wife runs it, right? I don't interfere. I just follow whatever she's saying because she's the boss. My work is to just teach from morning to night. Everything else is decided by her. So in the house, who runs the house? You check the group. Okay, there was no PDF. So, but others have got the PDF, Vagisha. How can it happen? Bache, Vagisha, you'll need to check it again. You'll have to check it again. No, joining does not matter. I posted it on the group, on the WhatsApp group. So you'll have to check the WhatsApp group once. When did you join the group? Okay, you joined. Okay, someone please send her the notes link because my phone is not with me right now. Can you just send the link? Can you send the link, please? Okay. Now, who runs the house in your house? Who's the one running? Who's the one driving things? Home minister, right? My in my house, it's my wife. She takes care of everything from what will be ordered from grocers to what do we need to buy to where do we need to go. Everything is decided with just little small things. I suggest sometimes it is mostly she listens to that, but it is her who's driving it. So she's the driver of the house. Similarly, the activity that is driving these costs, the activity that is driving these costs is known as the cost driver. The activities that is driving these cost is known as the cost driver, right? Similarly, what will drive inspection cost? It is the number of inspection. Packaging cost, it is the number of orders. Order processing, number of orders. Again, machine setup, number of machine runs or setups. Delivery, it is number of deliveries. So what we do is that for each of the cost pools, so now for each cost pool, for each cost pool, what do we do is that for each cost pool, we will find the cost driver rate. Now, sir, what is this cost driver rate? You will ask me. Now, cost driver rate is nothing but the overhead absorption rate. So, sir, what is it? So, absorption cost maybe for, so overhead absorption rate for inspection. So, it is total inspection cost divided by total number of inspections, right? So inspection cost, it is this. Again, for packaging, so we'll find out overhead absorption rate for packaging as well, right? There is one very interesting news. Do you guys go through financial news and all? Yes, guys. Do you guys go through financial news and everything? Yes, people. Do you guys look at the financial news? What about the others? Vagisha and Chetna. Chetna is not there. Hari, Imdad, Prashansha, Tina. Not daily. Imdad, not daily. So there is this news. Did you hear about the National Stock Exchange? Did you hear about the National Stock Exchange? Right. What happened recently? The CEO of National Stock Exchange was listening to. So this is one of the benefits. This and this. One of the benefits of listening to your wife. So whosoever, yes, sent to jail temporarily. Whosoever is married, take this from me. If you are not married, future learning, listen to your wife so that you get coffee and water and all other things on time, right? Very, very important. Why? See, I'm not just your teacher for performance management. I am here to give you life lessons also. This is a very important life lesson, right? Okay. So listen to your partner. If your mom is in control, listen to your mom, right? So again, inspection, then overhead absorption rate of packaging. Okay, but I am telling you now, those notes, forget those notes. Are you understanding what I am telling you? Hurry. It is enough. I will take you through those notes. We will do questions from that. You will do it in this class only. Don't worry. Don't worry. Worry spoils the curry. Okay. So overhead absorption rate for packaging. For packaging, if I find out the overhead absorption rate, how do we find out? So total packaging cost upon total number of orders, right? Then again, similarly, we can find for order processing also. We can find for order processing also, which is total ordering cost or order processing cost, total order processing cost divided by number of orders, right? Yes, this much is clear or not? Similarly, we can find for machine setup total cost upon number of production runs or number of setup, deliveries also, total delivery cost divided by the number of deliveries, right? So once you found out the overhead cost driver rate, now after finding the cost driver rate, after finding the, and Bombay Stock Exchange chairman, CEO has taken over as National Stock Exchange CEO. So that is another latest news. After finding the cost driver rate, we absorb the different costs to the products and find profit or loss. Yes, is that clear? So we will absorb it like we used to do this, like we used to do in this case. We found out with one rate and we absorbed it to different products. Similarly, for each of the cost, we will do this now. Okay. Yes. Is that clear or not? Yes, people. All of you, please confirm quickly so that I can move on, because this is your base. I'm trying to build a base. Once it is done, then you are ready to fly. But till this time, I have to keep asking you, clear or not, clear or not, clear or not. Although I will keep asking you later also, but just to tell you why I asked. Okay. So this is what we do now. Do you want to do a question? Do you want to do a question? Yes. On activity based costing, we have already begun the first chapter, which is the activity based costing. So let's do. Okay. So we've got a question, and even in your notes, you have a question. You'll get the, if you open your notes, you'll get this question. Can you see the question on my screen? Yes, guys. Can you see the question on my screen? Okay. Do you want to try this question, or do you want me to try this question? Yes. How many of you want to try this question yourself first, and then I will do? Yes. How many of you want to try this first and then make me do? Or how many of you want that, sir, you start? Yes, tell me. You are given machining cost, component cost, setup cost, packing cost, right? So all those costs you're given, total production overhead, machine hours. You are given three products, silky, shiny, and designer. Actual production units, you are given machine hours per unit, you are given number of production setups, you are given number of components, you are given, and number of customer orders also you are given. Machining cost will be machine hours. It will be based on machine hours, but how do we find the total machine hours for each of the products? Can someone tell me? We multiply the production by the machine hour per unit, right? And then forget that. Forget that. Which book is it? This is a very basic question. Forget which book. It doesn't matter. Okay. But can you see this question? So total machine hours, how will you find? Actual production or sales units multiplied by the machine hours per unit for silky, shiny, designer. Then number of production setups, 3, 1, and 26. Simple. Setup cost will depend on this. Component cost will depend on number of components. And again, packing cost will depend on number of customer orders. Can you do this or not? Yes, everyone. Priyadarshini is saying she'll try. What about the others? Prashansa, for your knowledge, it is from Kaplan. For your knowledge, it is from Kaplan. Prashansa says she'll try. Chotu, you'll try. Hari, you'll try. Yeah, you have VPP books. Don't worry. I have given you these notes. Don't worry. We will do questions from your BPP books also. Chotu will try. Imdad. How many of you say that you'll try? Now I've told you the gist of it. How much time do you need? How much time do you want? Let's make it time bound. How much time do you want? Yes. How much time do you want? Okay, I give you 10 minutes. 8:29. I'll see you on 8. It's 8:29. I'll see you at around 8:39, 8:40. Okay. Start. Everyone. absorption of the cost to products. Profit or loss we will do later because we don't know the selling price. I'll tell you the selling price. Just one simple step. So just do till absorption of cost. And also do using both ABC, that is activity based costing, and also traditional costing. Do using both because you're given machining hours and production hours. So you have to do using both, right? Yes, guys, done. Okay, let me start it then. Just copy the data, copy all the data. Requirements also I'll copy, put it to my Excel so that we have the question and the answer when we are actually doing it. Right. It's quite weird. Okay. So we'll not copy the data. It's quite weird the way it is appearing. We will not copy the data. Instead, just go on to solve it. Okay. And you guys, do you have the question or not? Do you guys have the question or not? Yes. Have you taken a screenshot? I should also take a screenshot. Why not? Let's take a screenshot. Okay. Okay. Can you see the question? Yes, guys. Can you see the question in front of you? I've just taken a screenshot. Yes. Great. So we're given machining cost, component cost, setup cost, packing cost, production overhead, machining hours. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we'll come to the Excel part. And for each of this, I will find out the overhead absorption rate first. So firstly, I'll go by each of the cost. So machining cost, then component cost, then setup cost, then packing cost, then production overhead. Great. I can see all of you. Great. You all are brilliant minds. So machining cost, component cost, and you guys are brilliant minds. Trust me. You guys are awesome. Right. So what is the total cost? What's the total cost? 5,000, 15,000, 15,000. Setup cost is 30,000. Packing cost, again 30,000. Right. So for machining cost driver will be, what will be the cost driver for machining cost? It will be the machine hours, right? And for component cost, number of components. Setup cost, number of setups. Then packaging is number of customer orders, right? Number of customer orders. Good. ABC method, right? Cost, activity, value, so, and then overhead absorption rate we'll find out. So firstly, number of cost drivers. So for machining cost, we have 0.01 per unit, but number of units has to be given. So 500,000 into 0.01 plus 150,000 into 0.04 plus 250,000 into 0.02. So this is my total number of hours, 16,000. Number of components, simple, 4, 6 and 20, 4 plus 6 plus 20. And number of setups, again 3 plus 1 plus 26. Yes. Then number of customer orders is 21 plus 4 plus 25. Now we'll find the overhead absorption rate. What is the overhead absorption rate? Activity value divided by the number of drivers, right? So similarly, I can just copy paste, right? This is per hour. This is per component. This is per setup. This is per order, right? Now let me bifurcate and absorb this into the product. So silky, shiny, and designer, right? So we are doing ABC first. We're doing ABC. So firstly, machining cost. Machining cost. So how many does silky machining cost is 0.3125. How many hours are there? 0.01 multiplied by 500,000, right? How many of you are getting this? Similarly, 0.3125 into 0.04 into 150,000. And for designer, again, this multiplied by 0.02 into 250,000. Yes. How many of you got this? How many of you got this machining cost? Prashansha, Imdad, great. And what about the others? Priyadarshini, Chotu, got it. Tina got it. What about the others? Got it, guys? Everyone got it. Got it. Great, great, great. Component cost. You guys are going to do wonders. So it's 500 number of components multiplied by number of components is 4, 2000, again 500 into 6, and then 500 into 20, right? Component cost. Then setup cost. Setup cost is 1000 per setup multiplied by how many setups? 3. Then 1000 into 1, and then 1000 into 26, right? Then packaging cost. Is 600 per order multiplied by 21. 600 multiplied by 4. 600 multiplied by 25. Chotu Raj, you're always using abbreviation. It will not work in exam. So I'll just do a total. Yes, how many of you got this? How many of you got this? Got it. Great. So what is the overhead cost per unit using ABC? So this divided by number of units. How many units are there? 500,000. for this 8275 divided by 150,000. How about product? The production overhead, it's just the total, na? Production overhead is just the total of all the cost. So this divided by again 250,000, right? Again, now overhead cost per unit using traditional costing. What would be the overhead cost per unit using? Can you show only the formulas? Yes. Okay. Yes. Can you see Hari Smaran? How do you find per unit? Divide the cost by number of units. That's how you find per unit cost. Yes. Okay. See the question. It's there. Can you see the question? Take your time. We'll go very slow. Take your time. We'll go slow. We are in no hurry. We'll go slow, but we will make a very solid foundation. Okay. That's not to be done. Na? Production overhead total. We'll make a very solid foundation. Yeah. Chotu and Prashansha, both of you doing same mistake. Have you seen Mountain Man Manji? Yes. What does he say? What does he say? He says, till I break it, I'll not leave it. He says, till I break it, I will not leave it. He says it in Hindi. You know it very well. Okay, this is clear or not? You can see the formula here. Here you can see the formula. Yes, everyone, please. I want you guys on the same page. Hari. Hari and Prashansa. Are you there? What about the others? The others, 9 of you. Imdad, Priyadarshini, Srihari. Great. Sujan, where are you? Tina, you are stuck somewhere. Vagisha, you're not answering. Where are you, Vagisha? I was expecting that you'll answer the most. Where are you stuck? Tina, where are you stuck? Tina, are you stuck somewhere? Srujan, you've understood it, right? But did you try it yourself? Now, overhead cost per unit using traditional cost. So traditionally, if you see, what is the total cost? What is the total cost? Traditionally, what do we do? We just take the total cost divided by any relevant basis, which is total machine hours. So we divided by 16,000, right? So we divided by 16,000. So one blanket rate we find out. What is the blanket rate? What's the blanket rate? It is 80,000 upon 16,000, right? This is per hour. So how many hours does it take? This is 5 per hour. So 5 multiplied by 0.01. Yes. Then again 5 multiplied by 0.04. Then again 5 multiplied by 0.02. Right? So this is the overhead cost per unit. Yes, people, understood or not? Got it or not? See, your total cost, total production cost is 80,000. Yes, guys, total production cost is 80,000. Yes, people. Prashansha. What is your overhead absorption rate using machine hours? Per hour. Per machine hour. It is 5 per hour. So how many hours does it take for one unit? 0.01. So I multiplied it. So I multiplied by 0.01. Again, 5 multiplied by 0.04 because it takes 0.04 hours. Then again, for designer, it is multiplied by 0.02. Yes. So I get the cost per unit. Yes or no? I'll tell you the selling price. Selling price, which was not there. So I'll just tell you. Selling price is 0.5, 0.45, 45, and 0.43. Right? So overhead cost we have. So also I'll tell you the labor and material cost, which will not change. Direct labor cost and direct material cost. Direct labor cost is, yes, till this point, is it clear or not? Till this point, overhead cost per unit using traditional costing. Is this clear or not? Yes, guys, this is clear or not? These two things, very important. Is this clear or not? Yes. Everyone, it's very important that everyone understands this. Vagisha, Priyadarshini, from traditional costing. Okay. So what do I use in, what do I do in Tina? What do I do in traditional costing? I take the total overheads. Yes or no? Tina. I take the total overheads, total overall. I don't bifurcate them. In traditional costing, I don't bifurcate them. Yes. Tell me. Yes or no? Imdad is sir from ABC. Where did you guys not understand it? So from ABC, very simple. You just divide it by the number of units. It is given to you. You are given cost. You are given total cost. You divide by the number of units, you get cost per unit. Imdad. Imdad. Right? Okay. Now coming to Tina. Tina, are you there? Are you there with me? Tina? Yes. So what do we do in traditional costing? I told you. Were you there when I was telling? We take the total cost. Yes or no? Yes. And we divide it by any relevant basis, which could be total labor hours, total number of units. It could be anything, right? Yes. So we divided this by the total number of machine hours, which is given to you. 16,000 machine hours. It's given to you. We took the machine hours and we divided it because that makes sense. Labor hours we are not given. Total number of units does not make sense. Machine hour makes sense. Yes, Tina. This is the traditional way of doing it. So it comes 5 per hour. Now I have to find per unit. So I will need to multiply it by how many units do I make in 1 hour. So how many units do I make? 0.01, 0.04, 0.02. Yes, Tina, is that clear now? So I multiplied by 0.01, 0.04. Look at the formula bar over here, and then 0.02. Tina, is that clear? Tina and everyone else, is that clear? Yes, people. All new terms are confusing for me. There is nothing new that I'm using. First of all, hurry. In question, see, question you have to go with logic. Question you have to do with logic, and that is what I'm trying to tell you. When I say do this question, I want you to apply some mind. My only motive is to make you apply your mind, because I know the solution to every question. I can do every question. But if you do not try it, then there is no point. Hurry. It's okay. Try, fail, make mistakes, but try. Only that's how you will. No, not always machine hours. You can use any relevant hours. That will come with practice. Not only machine hours, you can use number of units also. But we have taken machine hours. Any question? Yes. First you will try and then I will do. Because I know the answer too, because I've taken 20 plus batches. Last year only I took almost 6-7 batches of PM. So there is no question which I cannot answer in my notes. Traditional cost, you'll come to know. Read the question, you'll come to know. We'll do one more question in some time. First, let me just get this sorted. And then with as you do more and more questions, you'll understand how to select the best criteria. Yes, you will get all the recorded classes. Don't worry. Hurry. You will get all the recorded classes. And one thing that I hate, is you taking a 4-hour class here and then going on YouTube to understand it. This is something I don't want. This is something I do not accept it. You don't understand it. I am here with you till 1 o'clock in the night to make you understand. But YouTube, you're going to YouTube, this video, that video, and then no, not acceptable. Okay. Everyone, not acceptable. Whatever you have to understand, you have to understand here only. It is best criteria with questions you'll come to know. If you had done management accounting, MA, or you would have done costing, you would have understood it much quicker. But now since you have not, so it will take some time for you to select the criteria for traditional costing. Okay. Srujan, have I answered your question, Bache? What about the others? What about the others? Vagisha, Vagisha, where are you? We're taking too much time. Clear. Sir, 5 per hour. Yes, 5 is per hour. Imdad, 5 is per hour. 5 per hour. Absolutely correct. But you want per unit. You want per unit. Yeah, obviously, Hari. Okay, tell me one thing. How did you learn to ride a bicycle? Hari and everyone. How did you learn to ride a bicycle? Did you just pick it up and started? Okay, great. Great. Chotu. Thank you so much. How did you start to learn to ride a bicycle? Everyone. Did you just sit on the bicycle and started? Yes. Tell me. How was the experience? You went there one day, tried, fell, right? This is what happened. So this is like the same thing. Try, fall, get up. Try, fall, get up. I explain it to you here. Again try, again fall, again get up. I am here. You want 10 times explanation? I will give you 10 times explanation. But make mistakes. You have to make mistakes here only. You have to make mistakes here. Only then you will learn. Without mistakes, nobody learns in this world. I cannot count the number of mistakes I have made. The number of times I have failed. Like I failed at everything. I failed for illogical reasons. If I start telling you my failures, I failed at things that are so easy. If I tell you what I failed at, you'll laugh at me. But it's important that you fail. It's very important that you fail, because only then you learn it. Okay. Now tell me, selling price I've given you. Okay, this is clear to everyone. Quickly tell me. This is clear to everyone. Hari, Chotu, Srijan. Great. Okay. Direct labor cost, and this thing I'll just give it to you. 0.07, 0.17, 7, then 0.14, 0.19, 0.12, 0.16. Now, can you find profit as per traditional costing and profit as per ABC? Can you guys find it quickly? So selling price minus labor cost minus material cost minus overhead cost using traditional costing. So I just paste it. And using ABC, selling price minus labor minus material and minus overhead cost per unit. I'll just copy and paste it. Yes. So profit as per ABC. Yes. So if you were doing traditional costing, you thought that Silky was a profitable product, Shiny was a loss making product, and Designer was a profitable product using traditional costing. Can you tell me why? Why so? Can you tell me why so? Yes, everyone, Prashansa, Vagisha, Prasansha. Can you tell me why it appeared that Silky and Designer are profitable while Shiny is loss making? due to overhead absorption, because we thought that the majority of the overheads are basis the machine hours, but it's not, because they are based on different parameters. Some component cost, some is setup cost, something is about banking cost. And when we actually, so this is more logical as per traditional costing. Yes, as per traditional costing we were making a loss, but actually if we do a more logical absorption, overhead not allocated properly. Absolutely. Audio is gone. Am I audible, guys? Prashansha, am I audible? Yes. Prashansha, there is some problem with your network. Audio is gone though. Yes. So profit, as per traditional costing, we used to think that actually Shiny is a loss making product. But when we use ABC, we actually find that Shiny is a profit making product, while designer takes more overheads. Designer takes the most amount of overheads, and it is a loss making product. So it gives you more accurate cost. It helps you better in better pricing decision. Yes. So if you see the number of components in designer, it's way more. Suppose that there is a designer cloth, there is a designer this thing, designer lehenga. So everyone who comes, they will demand a different designer lehenga. But for silky and shiny, you make 10,000 pieces, no separate production setup. But for designer cloth, for designer piece, you have to do the production setup entirely again. Then number of components used in designer will be more. Number of orders will also be more. Why? Because maybe silky one shop wala will come, one this shop from, if you are making the silky, then one shop guy will come, he will say, okay, pack 5 lakh units. Gone. Khatam. Khalas. Shiny also, one shop wala will come and say, pack 150,000 units. Gone. Khatam. Khalas. But designer, 20 people will come and say, okay, pack me one this, pack me one that. So actually, you're making a loss on designer and not on silky and shiny. Guys, whatever I've told you, is that clear till now? Everyone, I want to listen to everyone. Prashansha, it's clear. Thank you. Tina, Chotu, crystal clear. Like Sprite, clear hai? Is it like Sprite? Clear hai? Okay. 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 Great. I'm vindicated. Wow. You guys are awesome. Right. You'll do a question. One more question. One more question. Yes. Okay. So I'm taking you to one more question. Look at the question and you will know which basis to use. Just look at this question. So they've given you number of units of 2, sharp and blunt. Labor hours they've given you. Read the question. The art is reading the question. If you can read the question clearly, you will do well. If you can read crystal clear, if you can read the question clearly, you will do well. If you cannot read the question well, you will never be able to fully dissect the question. The idea is to dissect it. Oh, cut it open. Then do your operation. We are doctors. We are financial doctors, right? So we cut it open and then we do our dissection, right? Okay, start. I'll give you 10 minutes for this. That's it. 10 minutes. That's it. Okay. Okay, start. Yes, guys, are you able to do it? Yes, are you able to do it? So they've given you clearly that overheads would be recovered on a direct labor. So other overheads do not have identifiable cost driver. In an ABC system, these would be recovered on a direct labor hour basis. Also, production, if company use traditional use absorption costing and the overheads are recovered on a direct labor hour basis. Prashansha, does that answer your question? Prashansha, it answers your question. Not every time you're using machine hours. Sometimes the question will tell you, and sometimes you have to make out which is the best basis. Okay. Should I start doing it? Yes. Should I start? It's almost 9:20. Should I start doing it? Great. You are not able to do it, no problem. Just try this. Hurry, hurry, just try this once. No problem, no problem. This is a new question. It's a new type of question. It will not have the same details. Every question is a new question. You have to read every question based on the knowledge or the concept that you have. You cannot, do not rote learn the questions. Hurry, trust me. Don't rote learn the question. Try, fall, get up. I will help you with it. Okay. But don't worry, we'll do this question right here in front of you. So stay connected, stay here, because we are doing this question right here, right now. Okay. Okay. Can you see the screen? Yes. Can you see the screen? Excel. Yes, guys. Can you see the Excel? Okay. They are saying JINC makes and sells two products, sharp and blunt. Direct cost of production is $12 for 1 unit of sharp and 24 per unit. So these are direct cost. Can you guys tell me what are direct cost? I've explained today only. What are direct cost? Hari Smaran, what are direct cost? Yes, Hari. What are direct cost? Material and labor. Yes, Hari. Yes. So there are two direct costs, material and labor. They have given you 12 and 24, right? Then they say they've given you annual production and sales. They say direct labor hour per unit is one. So this is hours, not the rate, right? Number of orders they've given you, number of batches they've given you, number of setups per batch they've given you, special parts per unit they've given you. And they say that the total setup cost driver also they've identified. So your entire job is done. So almost all of your job is done. But first we'll do traditional costing. Let's do traditional costing first. Using traditional costing. So and they're going to use direct labor hours. So sharp and blunt. What are the number of units? 24,000 and 24,000, right? Yes. Hari Smaran, are you able to follow? Beta, are you able to follow? Okay. So total number of units. right? Hours per unit. Yes. So they've given 1 and 1.5. 1 and 1.5. What is the total number of hours? So 1 divided by number of units. Again for blunt also. Same. Yes. So I'll just total it. It is 60,000. What is the total overhead? Total overheads. What's the total overheads? 4,32,000. Yes. So what is the overhead absorption rate per hour, per labor hour, per labor hour? So very simple. You can find it out. 4,32,000 upon 60,000. Now can you allocate it to each of these products? Allocate to products. So 7.2, which is this, multiplied by 24,000 total cost 172,800. Chotu, how did you get that cost, beta? This multiplied by 36,259,200, right? And per unit cost, if I want to find out, very simple. This divided by the number of units. Again, same. Yes. Cost overhead cost per unit. Yes. Tell me. How many of you got this? Hari, Bagisha got it. Hari, did you get it? Priyadarshini got it. Great. What about the others? These are a bit complex concepts. So we'll go slow. Your amount is opposite. So maybe you've done some mistake in calculation, Prashansha. Chotu, Chotu and Hari. Chotu and Hari. What about you? Did you get this? First, we found the number of hours, then the rate per hour multiplied by the number of hours. Yes, rate per hour multiplied by the number of hours. Again, rate per hour multiplied by the number of hours. Okay, you've tried with ABC, no problem. No problem, no problem. Now we'll do ABC. And in the next class, we will discuss the implications, right? Reasons for differences we'll discuss, and we'll do more questions from exam kits. ABC. Now using ABC, how many costs are there? We have setup cost, right? Amount, cost driver, rate, right? What is the setup cost? 73,200 based on number of setups. What is the number of setups? So they've given you setups per batch. Read the question very carefully. It is very important that you read the question very, very carefully. It is number of setups per batch. And how many number of batches they've given you, that you will find out by multiplying the number of batches into number of setups per batch. So what is the number of cost driver quantity? First I'll write, and then the cost driver rate. So what is the number of setups? So first of all, it is 1 into 12, 1 into 12 plus, to be very, very careful, then 3 into 240, 3 into 240. Yes, how many of you got this? So cost driver rate is this divided by this. How many of you got this? Prashansha, Vagisha. What about the others? Yes. Imdad got it. Great. Great, Imdad. Srujan also got it. Okay. Great, great, great. Right. So setup cost, then special parts handling. Special parts handling. What about the others? Hari, Hari, where is that girl? Tina, Tina, what about you? Tina, Hari did not get it. Okay, let's do one thing. I'm giving this question to you guys in your homework. You can take us done till cost per unit. Great, 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 great. Cost per unit. Overhead cost per unit using traditional costing. Okay. ABC. Okay. I'm giving this question to you in homework. When we come back and meet in the next class, I'm going to discuss this question with you. I think we are already late today. So we'll discuss this question in the next class. But before that, I want all of you to give one wholehearted effort to this. Will you do this? Everyone? Everyone, will you do this? Okay. Okay. Right, guys. So let's meet now. Next, we meet on Saturday. Okay. We meet on Saturday. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.